Hey guys, it's Turnro here, and today I'll be covering how to make your own AI scripts for Warcraft 3. Now, regardless of whether you want to make AI scripts for a custom game, a melee map, or a campaign, there are two separate ways you can go about doing this sort of thing. And as a result, I'll be splitting this video into two, and this first video will just focus on one of these methods, which is probably referred to as the most common method people use when making AI scripts for the first time, which is where you make use of the AI editor within the Warcraft 3 world editor. So once you click on this green button, it will bring up a window that will allow you to begin making your AI. So the very first thing you want to do is give it a name, which we'll call it Computer AI. You select what race you want the AI to be for, whether it be for human, orc, undead, night elf, or a completely new race altogether. Next, you have a series of options that you can select, which will determine how the AI will behave in certain situations. Some of these options are straightforward, like for example, repairing structures, having heroes take items, buy items, etc. My personal recommendation would be for a few of these options to have set player name on, and that way when the AI is used throughout the game, it will make use of the name you specify here. You have melee turned on regardless of whether or not you are using this AI for a melee map or not, simply because if you have it turned off, you have to rely on conditions in order to have the AI build structures and train units. Otherwise, the AI won't do either. So, just so that you're aware of that. Have no mercy, you have that. I personally have it turned off because it makes the AI deliberately attack the player when the player is at a disadvantage. Like for example, they have hardly any units at their base. So you're sort of punishing the player if they're not playing the game good enough. And Smart Artillery is a similar option to Have No Mercy, and where the AI will deliberately send siege units at the player who is at a disadvantage. So you have that also selected to none. Slow Harvesting. Now, depending on what sort of maps you want to make, if you're making a custom campaign, or in some cases a custom game, you don't want the enemy AI to run out of resources in their gold mine or in their lumber. So you have this option turned on. In that way, the player doesn't revert to strategies such as waiting for the AI to run out of resources and then attack. Otherwise, if you're making a normal melee map, then you have this option turned off just to make it fair that all players have similar amounts of resources. So it depends on what sort of map you want to make. So once you've specified what options you'd like, the next thing to do would be to select what units and buildings are trained or constructed by the AI, which you can do so in this building tab here, where by default it will have the town hall followed by the worker units, as well as how many workers are assigned to collecting gold and lumber, and if it's at the central main base that the player starts off at the beginning of the map, or if it's at a potential expansion, if they expand at all. There is also a Heroes tab, where you can select and choose what heroes the AI will train throughout the game, and what order they are potentially trained in. Like for example, there's a 17% chance that the Paladin will be the first hero, followed by the Archmage, then the Mountain King. You can change these numbers to whatever you want. You can also select that if a hero is trained, like example the Paladin, you can select which spells they learn first. Like for example, you want the Paladin to learn Devotion Aura at level 2. Instead of level 3. So we move this up. You want the hero to learn Holy Light level 2 when the Paladin reaches level 3, and therefore we move it up, etc. Now, Depending on what sort of AI you want to build, in most cases you generally won't use this because chances are the AI player in your map already has heroes actually in the map with their levels and default spells. And while you may desire to have the hero gain levels throughout the mission and learn additional spells, this sort of system only works if the AI is training the actual heroes in the map. Now, you will notice that the units in this building tab and heroes tab are all human units. And that is because back in the general tab, we have selected that our race will be based off the humans. If we want to, say for example, have the orcs as a race for the AI, if we go back to the building tab, you'll notice that the town hall and workers have been replaced with their orc equivalents, as well as the heroes when we select on the heroes tab. Furthermore, you will also notice that you're only restricted to the heroes and units and buildings available for that specific race. So if you desire to make an AI script for a completely new race you've made yourself, you need to select custom as your race. And what this will do is we go back to the heroes tab, you are free to select whatever hero you want in the game, as well as being able to select whatever buildings and units, etc. you want to train or build. Now, we could take this one step further and say we have created our own custom units within our map, and we want to be able to specify the AI to build those units. Can we do it? If you desire to have the AI build the units you've specifically created for your map or campaign, then you can do so by making use of the custom data import option. The very first thing you would do is you would go into your actual map and click on Object Editor. And as you can see, we have a custom unit that we want to use. You go to File, Export All Object Data, and we simply give it a name and click on Save. Now we simply go back to the AI editor, we click on Import, and we import the data that we previously exported from our map. And as you can see, it says that we have imported the data successfully. And if we go to the building tab and we click on Add Priority, if we select Custom, we are able to select and use the custom units we have just inserted. So, when it comes to building your own units and training, they are done in priority. So the Great Hall will be built first, followed by the peons. Just as any standard AI, you would generally want to have them construct an altar, next we may want them to construct a barracks, etc. Now there are a few things you need to cater for as you're specifying what order the AI is building their units and constructing their structures, because it does take into account the tech trees. For example, if you order the AI to train a grunt and there's no barracks, then the AI won't build the grunt. Likewise, if you order the AI to train a raider, it won't train the raider, because first of all, it requires not only a bestiary, but it also, in order to build the bestiary, the Great Hall must be upgraded into a stronghold. So just little things like that to keep in mind. And it also requires you know how the races work. In addition, you also need to take into account the current food supply taken up by the AI player. If you order the AI to construct or train units that cost food, and it is over the current food limit, then it will simply highlight the text in red, meaning that you need to have the AI build more structures that provide food, which we can easily do so by ordering the AI to build a burrow. Now, there's a couple of things to help you with organizing this. Simply, you can add priority by clicking on this button, which will simply allow you to specify a unit or building that can be constructed. Likewise, you can also do the same thing by right-clicking on the white space and going Add Priority. You can change a unit or structure by simply double-clicking on it, or you can simply just left-click once and go Edit Priority. Now, in regards to conditions, in some cases you may want the AI only to train units or build structures depending on a set of circumstances. Like, for example, we want to say that the AI will only upgrade their Great Hall into a stronghold if their current gold amount is plentiful. So we go back into the General tab and we right-click on the white space and go Add Condition. We would call this Excess Gold. Click on Configure Condition. We want an integer comparison, simply because we're comparing numbers to each other. And we simply select if the current gold amount of the player is greater than equal to 1,000. Then we go back to the Building tab, we right-click on the stronghold, we go Modify Condition, and then we select the condition of if the current gold amount is greater than or equal to 1,000. Likewise, you can also specify how many workers you want to train to harvest gold or lumber. You can, depending on if you choose custom as your race, you can change the town hall they use. You can specify if they use a haunted gold mine, or even the gold or lumber workers that are available to them. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is the fact that you can specify which town that the AI does this sort of stuff. Where, for example, if we double click on the Great Hall, we can specify if it's for any town, if it's for their main base or expansion, which may or may not be useful depending on what the AI does or what you want it to do. Generally, this is useful for melee maps where the AI does expand to continue gaining resources. Otherwise, for custom campaigns where the AI only has one base and they never expand, it doesn't really matter that much. Also, it is possible to tell the AI to research upgrades through here, which we can do so by clicking on Build, and we can select Specific Upgrade. And we are able to select what upgrades the AI will research, depending on if the buildings and the tech tree requirements are met. Now you will notice that there is a Hero First, Hero Second, and Hero Third option. And they are different compared to when you go specific unit and train a specific hero. Because these three are referring to the heroes you want to train in this Heroes tab right here, where Hero 1 is simply the hero specified in the first drop down, and then the second drop down is Hero 2, and the third hero, etc. One other aspect of AI scripts we haven't covered yet is what is known as attack waves. where you want the AI to send attacks at the player, which you can do so in the attacking tab. First of all, you would want to create the different attack groups you want, which consists of what unit types are in the attack wave and in how many. We can do so by clicking on Add Group or right-clicking on the white space and going Add Group. And here we can give it a name. We call it Grunt Attack. Next, we click on Add Unit, and we can select the unit type we want. For example, we want grunts. We can select the quantity of grunts that will be part of the attack wave. Whether we want all the grunts, probably not likely. We want it to be a fixed value of, say, for example, 5 grunts. And we can continue adding units from there. Next, we want to be able to tell the AI to send this attack group to attack a player, which is over in this attack waves box right here, where we simply say the very first attack wave that will be sent will be of grunt attack. And we can also specify how long the AI will wait in seconds before it actually sends the attack wave at the player. There are also some additional options you can specify with the attack waves, like for example, initial delay. This is where you can order the AI from the beginning of the map to how long in seconds it will wait before it sends any attack waves. You can also specify how many times the AI will repeat the last wave once they reach the end. So for example, we create a couple of waves, and this one will wait 120 seconds, and this one will wait 30 seconds. So once it sends this last attack, you can essentially tell the AI, right, we want the last wave attack to be repeated. And you can specify the second attack wave to be repeated, etc. Just so you don't have to continuously create attack waves if the player plays the map long enough in order for the AI to send that many waves. Now, target priorities. In most cases, you would generally want the AI to target just the player or enemy players, which are these 3 options here. Otherwise, if you are making the AI for a melee map, you do generally want to make use of them attacking creep camps or deliberately going out to a new gold mine to establish an expansion, or attack with their allies. But otherwise, if you're just making a basic AI where they just attack the player and nothing else, then you don't need these additional options. And that pretty much covers how to order the AI to build structures, build units, their heroes, upgrades, and attack players. Now there is a test configuration tab which allows you to test your AI in a very specific scenario, but generally, and my personal preference is that if you want to test your AI, the best and most easiest way of doing that is by actually testing the AI within the map you're going to use. So first of all, we're going to save this AI. We're going to call it script. Click on save. And in addition to saving this AI, we are also going to go to File, Export Script. And we're going to call it the exact same name. Now, what I just did, I will briefly go over if we just open the file again. Now, you'll notice that there are 2 files, one of WAI and one of AI. The difference between them is that the AI is the actual AI script. That is what was created when we went into File, Export Script, and is what we'll be using when we actually test the AI within our map. The .wai file, on the other hand, is the file that allows us to edit the AI through the AI editor. So without this file, we can no longer edit the AI through the AI editor. But if you lose the AI script, you can just simply recreate it from the WAI file by going into File, Export Script. Now that we have our AI, we can go into our map, we go to Import Manager, we right click on the white space and go Import File. We would select the AI we wish to import. We can reduce the file path just to make it more easily readable. Next, we would go into the triggers, and ignoring this, we will click on Actions, go to AI, and we can either select Start Melee AI Script or Start Campaign AI Script. Now, in regards to which action you use, you can use either. They both essentially do the same thing. So you would select what player slot the AI is for. In this case, we want it to be player blue. And then we can select the AI script we wish to use. And then you're free to save the map and test the map within Warcraft 3. And that essentially does it for this tutorial. I hope you guys find this useful. If you did like this video, feel free to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the next video, I will be providing a very different way how we can go about making our own AI scripts, which involves coding. But until then, I'll catch you guys next time. Bye now.